Hi, I'm Glenn Gilliam, and you're listening to Brothers on Tennis.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are Brothers on Tennis. And we are here today, folks, to talk about what? The last official week of the tennis season 2020. Bryce, I'm sad. How you feeling, bro?
You know what? I know where you're coming from by saying you're sad because it's like, okay, this is the last. But they're going to be on break for like, what, a couple weeks?
I know, right? Like 3 days.
I mean, we went like about 6 months without tennis. And so December is going to just blow by, you know?
It will. Yeah. But I guess it's just one of those things where I feel like it's just now getting, the flow of it is coming
Right.
back, and so we've been enjoying all this good tennis and all this good competitiveness, and
Right.
and now it's like, okay, now you got basically 6 to 7, if not more, weeks where we got a break. Luckily, there's football and other sports going on, true enough,
Right.
but
Right.
it's again not it's not tennis. So I'm sad in the sense that we got to wait a bunch of weeks in order to get it, but that's okay because 2021 should be popping,
Yes.
and hopefully there will be some wonderful tennis played in the new year. So
Right.
so yeah, man. So
And
what's
I'm
good?
ready. And look, I'm ready for Roger Federer to come back. It's been good seeing all this tennis, but as we've talked about in the past, when
Yeah.
Roger's not in the draw, it's just like something
It's
for
not
me
as special.
personally. Yeah, it just is like, all right, I'll watch it, you know.
Right.
But I need Roger back, and so that's why I'm excited for us to go ahead and get to January because I want to see how he's going to show up against these new guys because these new guys are starting to show out a little bit.
Right. And that's what we'll be talking about this week because they showed out on this
Right.
final ATP Nito. They was like, look, anybody scared of you, Big Two? At least not indoors. Shoot, we got a little
Right.
something for you on these courts.
Right.
Man, crazy.
But excuse me, everyone, for my scruff look. There is literally no reason for me to shave. If my dog don't care,
There you go. Hell, you should have saw me before the weekend. It was looking real. Right? I mean, it was looking real tight because all of this was going on. All of this was going on.
Oh, I had that look. I mean, because before
Oh.
we recorded that last interview,
Uh-huh.
who was looking like Uncle Ruckus was me.
Right?
I'm telling you. I caught myself in the reflection of the mirror and got scared. I was like, that Uncle Ruckus?
It's like, Uncle Ruckus? What is going on here? Man, I'm telling you, it was a scary thing. I figure since, it's I ain't doing much for Thanksgiving, but still the fact that we are on the holiday, it'd be good to just kind of get cleaned up and get myself right. So I figure I'll at least look relatively acceptable for Thanksgiving, but
Right.
ain't much else going on outside of that though, bro. I'm
No,
trying to tell you.
not at all.
No.
And we throw that out to everyone. Be safe during the holidays. I mean,
Absolutely.
for those of you that are, kind of staying in place, props to you for that. And for those of you that are, or will be joining others or will be going to be with family, please make sure you do that safely, as safely as you possibly can. And we are too close to getting to the end of this thing. I mean, we have a light at the end of the tunnel now with the progress with these vaccines, and it don't make no sense for somebody to get caught slipping at this point in the game,
That's exactly right. Don't do it. I mean, come on, y'all. Just be as safe as you possibly can, because we were right there. Advancements and things are being made every single day. So just be patient. Understand that all this too shall pass.
Yeah.
But you got to be patient, and and don't be that one. Be getting something, and then 2 weeks later, the vaccine that came out, and you don't do it. Just don't do it. So just be safe.
Yeah, it won't be. It won't be. And I see Rochelle. Yes, thank you for reminding us. All the thanks to the healthcare workers and
absolutely.
line people. I mean, they are truly the heroes in this situation, and It will be great. Think about it. It'll be great when we get to the point and when we start having those conversations of, man, do you remember 2020? you remember 2020?
2020 was
2020 was off the chain. Yes. And yes, Kareem, I just talked about letting my facial hair grow out. Yeah, it's good for the face.
There you go, I guess.
So anyway, we're not here to have some big old social, conversation. Let's talk about the tennis. And, this past week, we had an absolutely delicious men's ATP season-ending final. The very last one that they're having in the O2 in London.
Yeah, that's right. Because they will be moving to Italy, right? Next year for the next 5 years.
Yes, Turin.
Which is pretty interesting, given the fact that we got the surge in the Italian talent. Berrettini and Sinner. That's probably why Berrettini act like he wanted it, because he like, it's gonna be in my backyard next year. I'll get myself right for next
year. Right. Yeah, Italy. That's a nice spot. Yeah, Italy will have themselves together by then. I mean, they'll be good. But it's exciting. The finals were great from day one. The round robin groups I thought were paired up nicely. You had in Djokovic's group, you had himself, Dominic Thiem, Tsitsipas. No, he had Dominic Thiem, Schwartzman, and who was the other one? Medvedev. Sorry, yes, my boy. So Medvedev, Djokovic, Schwartzman, and Thiem. That was a very, very good group. And then in the other group, you had Nadal, you had Medvedev. Nadal. I'm getting these names mixed up. Tsitsipas, right? Rublev, and who's the other one I'm missing? Zverev, yeah, because I don't think about him.
Not many do.
So that's another good group, and probably one of the things that people are saying about this year's finals was that it really kind of felt a little bit like the changing of the guards. And when you hear about those two groups, you naturally think that's Djokovic's group and that's Nadal's group. And rightfully so. They were seeded 1 and 2, right? Correct. But throughout the week, we quickly learned that it was actually Dominic Thiem and Daniil Medvedev group. I mean, you got to think about it. Both of those guys in this tournament beat both Novak and Rafa.
And that to me is that speaks volumes, Bryce. I mean, it really, really speaks volumes. The fact that two players can take out the big two in the same tournament and it be the ending year finals, that is a humongous accomplishment on both Medvedev and Thiem's part. I mean, that is major, dude. That's going to give them so much confidence going into 2021. It was exceptional. I mean, it was, and it was definitely something that I sure as hell wasn't expecting. Because, for me, I was thinking, well, the fact that, again, Federer's not here, and, Rafa has always got that, that thing, on the, they always needling him about the fact that you haven't won it. So, to me, this was like a prime opportunity for him to do so. And, like I said, the Young Guns was like, and not that Thiem and Medvedev are young guns per se, but they was like, bitch, ain't nobody scared of you. This is an indoor hardcore,
right?
And all that spin and stuff you got, no, that's for the clay. That is not for this surface,
right?
And we got something for you. And I tell you what, Bryce, I don't understand what happened on the Djokovic side, to be honest with you, because I mean, again, this is his surface. Right. I mean, he loves indoor hardcore. Right. So the fact that he got stolen by both of them, that to me honestly was the more surprising of the two things. I honestly thought Novak would have at least been able to get, one of those two matches, but to lose to both of them, that was surprising to me. What was your take on it, bro?
Well, and I'm going to take a little bit of a different take on the Thiem Djokovic one. I don't think Djokovic lost that match as much as Thiem won it. We have seen matches with Djokovic where he's out there and he makes a lot of mistakes, and it's very clear that he wasn't on his game and probably contributed more to the loss than the other person winning, right? Yeah. That was not the case with Dominic Thiem. And remember, Djokovic has this reputation of being almost invincible in tiebreakers now. And he kind of showed that in the second set when he pulled out that second set tiebreaker when he even had match points against him. But for him to have been up 4-love in the third set tiebreaker, right? And to watch Dominic Thiem say, wait a minute, let me loosen my back up. and he put the smack down on won 7 of the next 8 points. And I don't feel like it was Djokovic fell off a cliff. I feel like Thiem stepped up and took that match.
Exactly. I'm so right there with you, because I remember looking at that tiebreak, and it was just like when he went down 4-love, it's so weird because I kind of looked and I was like, he just sort of exhaled. And then after that, it was just like boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, this dude is like, okay, guess what, Mr. Clutch? I'm about to take your title from you, and I'm about to be Clutch. And he played the rest of that tiebreaker spectacularly, bro. It was incredible. It really, really was impressive.
It was. Now, with the other match between Medvedev and Nadal, there were some very interesting dynamics in that match. Because number one, in this one, when you look at surface, it's a much bigger difference, I think, between the two. It absolutely is not Nadal's favorite. And Medvedev is very, very good on it, right? Yes, but you had these other factors going on, right? Medvedev had never beaten Nadal before. And we know until you get over that hump, that's always a thing, right?
That's right.
But then again, we know last year at the championships, Medvedev was up on Nadal 5-1 in the third set and basically went on vacation early. So I think although he didn't win that match, I think he was able to walk away from that match saying, okay, I can pull that one, right?
Exactly.
So with him winning that match, I think, Medvedev really kind of overcame some demons there. And just something else I want to tie to Medvedev is I want to tie a couple of things to Medvedev right now. Number one, I was listening to another podcast this morning, and they were talking about this whole year-end thing, and I was really pretty disappointed because it just seemed like it was a hating fest on Medvedev. And it was like talking about every reason why he won other than him. Almost like despite him, right? And so it made me realize that, with the big three going out, we kind of have another big three coming in. And for me, I kind of think, and I know there's a lot of really good upcoming players, but I truly believe the core of the next big three is going to be Thiem, Medvedev, and Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas has got some things he's got to work out, but I think at the end of the day, he's going to be in that group, right?
Yep.
Now, I think Medvedev is going to end up, in terms of popularity, is going to end up being the Djokovic of that group, right?
I agree.
People like to not like Russians. Medvedev likes to do things to make you not like him a little bit.
Yes, he does.
But there's a big difference between Medvedev and Djokovic. Djokovic is playing that role, but he really doesn't want to.
Right.
He wants to be liked. He wants to be loved. He wants to be adorned, right?
Yep.
Medvedev really don't give a damn. He don't care if you like him or not. Medvedev is like, make sure my check clear and we good.
Right.
Make
sure the coins
are right and we don't got no issues.
And we all right.
Right?
Thank you.
So
exactly.
I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you don't have posters up on me. That don't matter. Right? So I think that's going to be great for Medvedev. He's not going to have some of the issues that I think Djokovic has had in that area. The other thing that I want to bring up, which is, now, players, y'all need to start paying attention to this if you're not. Medvedev has been another player who has come out and talked about the powers of having these sports psychologists and therapists.
Right.
And, and we know for Medvedev back in the day, Medvedev used to pop off and be crazy and all that kind of, you see, now, don't get me wrong, the crazy's still in there. And I kind of like it.
It's still good.
But you see he manages it so much better now. And we've heard, with Iga Swiatek talking about the difference it made for her. This could really be the next new thing for players, right? To give you that little edge. So so I was very excited to see that final of Medvedev and team happen, because I felt like really these are two of the members of the next big three that are really kind of there now, right? And I wanted to see this battle. So what did you think about that final that they had?
It was incredible. It was a great final. It was funny because early on they were talking, on ESPN, and they were saying, hey, somebody popped off and was like, team is gonna win this thing, straight sets and blah blah and boom boom boom, and and for me, I guess, you and I were talking about this even before the match. I really didn't care who won, if I was being very honest with you, because I like both Dominic Thiem and Daniil Medvedev. I like both of them, and honestly, they earned it. The fact that both of them beat Novak and Rafa in the same tournament, I was like, either one of y'all take it, because, you both deserve it. You both have put in the work to get this title. So for me, I really didn't care who won, but man, it was a good match. I mean, again, Thiem got out there. Thiem did his thing, and he wrapped up that first set. He was very competitive in the second set. They got it. It got close, but Daniil was like, "Hold up,
hold up, wait a minute."
He was like, bitch, no. If you go get it, you better get me. Because if we go to a third, I'm going to be all up on you. And that's exactly what he did. He pushed it to a third. And at that point, the tide just started very slowly swinging. And we know Thiem is a workhorse, but he can get tired. He's had a long year. And I honestly feel like a couple of things played into it. The fact that, again, Medvedev has not played a lot of really good tennis this year. So he's really just ramping into his mode, if you will. He won, Bercy. He won Paris. And he's undefeated coming in, as he got to that particular match. So I think that was big, and I also think that, again, getting that victory over Rafa, it's like you said, bro. When you can conquer a demon, when it's in the books, it's in black and white. You can't erase that shit. You done beat somebody. When you've done that, your confidence and your mental is right. And I just think that going into that third set, he drew on those two things. He had more energy than Thiem, and I honestly feel like his confidence level, the fact that he beat Rafa for the first time, just kind of pushed him over. And he was like, nah, son, I'm about to take this. And he did what he did the previous summer. He played fearless tennis, and he got it done, man. It was a beautiful thing. And I was just proud of both of them, man. I was really happy for both Thiem and Medvedev. I expect to see that matchup many, many times in the future, especially in 2021. I expect to see that matchup a lot. And so to me, bro, it was fantastic. Give the audience and myself your thoughts on that match.
Going into the match, I wanted Medvedev to win, because out of this next group of players coming up, Medvedev is my favorite. And the reason why Medvedev is my favorite is because, and I know this is going to sound really weird, but just go with me for a second on this.
All right.
His game reminds me a lot like Federer. And the reason I say that is because it's a very unorthodox game in comparison to the standard game that's out there. That's been Federer for the longest time. Who else out there plays like Federer, right? So when you play Federer, it's a whole different type of mindset you have to have. No,
that's right.
Medvedev, although he doesn't play like Federer, Medvedev has a very kind of different, awkward style. He's got a very deceiving good serve. I mean, can really serve you off the court. To be as tall as he is and to move as well as he does is crazy. The commentators were talking, I forgot what match it was. They were saying who do you think has the best defensive skills of this next crew coming up? And they were like, oh, we think it's CC Pies. And I'm thinking, are y'all smoking crack? Medvedev by far, and maybe they just, you know how sometimes just a name you just miss, because to me, this was that big of a miss. Medvedev, part of the reason why he wins is he digs and he digs and he digs and he gets shots back and he hits them in places that you don't even expect. And the skill that you have to do that, both physically and from a shot standpoint, he can hit angles, he can hit with pace, he can do the lot. And you know what? He may not ever go down as the greatest volleyer in the world, but he is effective. He's effective. He gets the job done when he goes up there. I forgot what his percentage was, but he had a very high percentage of winning his points at the net. So you don't get the whole feel of his game by just looking at the parts of Medvedev, right? So I think he's always a tricky matchup for people. And to be very honest with you, most of the times that I've seen Medvedev lose, it's really been because of him. You know, I've not seen many people just blow Medvedev off the court. You know, so anyway, I just wanted to give folks that background. That's why he intrigues me. That's why I like him, and I love his attitude. You know, I kind of like he embraces this whole rebel type attitude. Don't get me wrong, he's done some things in the past that he shouldn't have, but shoot, all the players have, right? And the thing that I can appreciate is he has tried to learn from those. You've seen the actual change in his behavior and his mentality. So once again, going into the final, I was hoping that he won, but I actually was giving an edge to Team because I just felt like Team was a bit on a roll, right? He had won the U.S. Open. He had beaten, you know, Rafa, and let's remind people, Dominic Thiem has now beaten Djokovic 5 out of the last 7 times they've played. Yeah. So who owns who, really?
That's a very true statement.
I mean, just saying, you know? So I kind of felt like Thiem maybe had a little bit of an edge. But I talked to my mom right before the match started, and she was asking my opinion, like, what do you think? And I gave her what I just gave you. But I said this. I said, Medvedev is a slow starter. And he grinds, and he really kind of builds momentum going into a match. And we've seen that many times. I said, if Thiem's going to win, Thiem has to win the first set. If Thiem doesn't win the first set, I don't think he has a shot at all. And he won the first set, and I was like, okay. But you saw Medvedev start changing his tactics, you know, in the second set. And, you know, he wasn't missing balls, and he was getting Thiem in some very uncomfortable situations. And because I was a little concerned in the beginning because I thought that ploy that Thiem was using, that slice backhand, was working. It felt like it was working. And it was, once again, Medvedev who played the loose game in the first set when he was up 40-love and missed that overhead. And things got kind of wacky that really, you know, kind of contributed to him losing. But I kept my fingers crossed, and, you know, Medvedev did what Medvedev does. And he pulled it out. And I will say this in closing. Another reason why I was really, really happy that Medvedev won is because I think now this didn't crush Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem won a U.S. Open this year.
Dominic Thiem,
he's good, right?
He's good.
But Dominic Thiem and Medvedev have now had 2020s that are highly motivating for them going into 2021, right?
Yes.
And you have Rafa and Djokovic coming back. You know, I'm sure CC Pass is going to try to make sure he's in the mix. We're all looking at what Sinner's going to do. Oh, by the way, Roger Federer is reintroducing himself back in there. And, you know, it just really makes for an exciting 2021.
I completely agree, man. I mean, I think it's going to be popping, dude. I think there's going to be that Australian Open. Well, I'm going to say when it happens, because I know they're always, they're still talking about the window and when things are going to be happening, and they may push it off or push it down in the season a little bit given the spikes. But whenever it happens, it's going to be popping, because I think that a lot of players are going to go into it with a lot of confidence. And
right.
And I just think that there's going to be a lot of folks that are they just gonna be ready, man. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna be ready. This offseason, I feel like for both team and for Medvedev will be very, very positive. Given everything that they've done. I think another person that's going to go into the offseason with an incredible amount of excitement is going to be, of course, Sinner.
Right.
I think he had a really, really solid 2020. I think he showed up. Like I said, if you look at that French Open, of anyone Nadal played, Sinner was by far the toughest opponent that he had. And so that has to bode very well for his confidence. And like I said, and then you just wonder, seeing that Medvedev and team were able to take out both Novak and Rafa. What does that mean now for the others? So when you're someone like a Tsitsipas, or you're someone like, again, you talk about the Canadians, Shapovalov and FAA, you have to think that they are gaining a little bit of confidence as well to say, all right, they're starting to make some inroads into that big three. Right. Let me get my game right. Let me get me some victories on the big three, and let's see what's up. So I have a feeling 2021 is going to be out of control, y'all. It's going to be good.
Right.
It's going to be good, man.
So what do you think about? I think it was Brad Gilbert who predicted it, but he has thoughts that Dominic Thiem is going to take over the number one spot in 2021. Do you agree with that?
I think he will touch it. I don't think he will end next year as the number one player in the world, but I do feel like the fact that he's won the U.S. Open and the fact that he made the finals of the European Championships, those points are gonna stay with him throughout a good majority of the season. So you have to think that if we have a normal schedule, and given the fact that Dominic Thiem likes to play a lot of tournaments anyway, you have to think that if he plays the tournaments, he's going to touch number one. Like I said, I don't know that he will finish the year number one, but I absolutely believe that he will touch the number one, and he'll get it for a couple weeks. What about you, man? What are you thinking?
I think it's possible. One of the statements that I completely agree with from the commentators is that typically when we're going into the Australian Open, that's been a tournament that Djokovic has totally dominated. And, he goes in with, he's the prohibitive favorite, and you're just like, okay, he's first, and then who's second, third, and fourth?
Who's next? The field, yeah.
I'm telling you what, this is the first year in a long time that he is a favorite, but a lot is going to depend on these people's draws. There are people, brackets in the tournament draws. It is going, because I'm going to tell you what, you're going to have some players that are going to start having incredibly tough matches starting in the third round.
Third round, yes. Fourth round is going to be rocky. Sure enough.
Right, and and it's going to be very interesting to see how this, going to be. Now here, I want to answer the question here. One of our comments on IG Live says, I don't read a ton into the wins over Rafa. He's never been particularly strong at the tour finals. Fast indoor courts aren't his favorite. I understand what you're saying, but let's be clear. When we talk about Nadal not being good on fast courts, it's relative to how good he is on other courts. It is no way an indication that he's a bad player on fast indoor courts.
Oh God, no! He
so
wouldn't have all 4 Grand Slams if he were bad.
No, if you beat Rafael Nadal on gravel, I'm serious. You feel good about that because he isn't really as much of a surface person as he is a competitor, right? Right. So so I do put stock in those were Tsitsipas will tell you he was pretty good on hard court. Rublev, who Hardcore fits his game like nobody else. He'll tell you Rafa's pretty good on Hardcore. So I would say, anytime you beat, I'm gonna be this general. Anytime you beat any member of the big three on any surface, that is a good win.
That's yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, you should pop some bottles for sure.
Right.
I mean, seriously. I mean, because again, they are so dominant, and rightfully so. I mean, that's why they got all the Grand Slams. That's why they've been hoarding them all. And so anytime you can get a victory on any of them, it is a major, major accomplishment because they ain't giving away nothing.
Right.
Them three, they ain't trying to give nothing. And they still trying to hold their ground, even though Father Time is catching up, especially with Roger. But no. Anytime you can get a victory, it's a very, very, it's a sweet thing for them.
Right.
And again, that's why I feel like confidence-wise, they will go into 21 really, really looking to do some damage. Now, Bryce, what I will say is this though. Djokovic, in my eyes, will still go into the Australian Open as the favorite. I don't see anybody else going into that tournament being a favorite over him.
Right.
Because again, Roger's still a question mark, so we don't know what he's going to look like. And I don't think any of the others have been able to, produce results enough that it would say, okay, we need to put this person ahead of this person. No, not at that point. But like we were talking about, if you talk about, Novak versus the field, who do you pick? I'm picking the field come 2021.
Right.
I don't feel like Novak is that dominant of a as far as the predictions go. I don't feel like he's as dominant as he has been in the previous years.
Right.
So it's like you said, it will depend on how the draw unfolds, who's in his particular half and quadrants and we will see. But that's sport, and that's why I'm so looking forward to this 2021,
right.
Man. It's going to be good, man.
Right.
Go ahead,
and the other thing I was going to say is I just lost it. There went.
I talked too much.
But, that will be very interesting. I wanted to address it. Glenn made a comment here saying, how did you see Kim Clijsters return to the tour, and does it make sense? So, my initial thoughts on this is, number one, we only got to see a little bit of Kim, unfortunately, because of everything that went on this year. But I thought she looked great.
Kim looked great.
I think I don't think it was her being full of herself that she can come back. She clearly has the game to come back and hit with these other women. That forehand was on fire. She moves around the court well, even with her not still being in 100% shape. That serve was looking pretty good. I just think she still needs some match play. So I'm here for Kim Clijsters. What do you, Isaac?
I 100% agree with that. I mean, again, we're talking about Serena Williams still competing for Grand Slam.
Right.
I mean, her and Kim are about the same age. In fact, I think Kim might be a year younger than Serena.
Right.
So, don't get it twisted. Kim Clijsters is a baller. She can play this game.
Right.
And like I said, she was up there. She was fighting with Venus and Serena and Justine and Lindsay Davenport back in the day, and she was getting hers. So you do not underestimate Kim Clijsters, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. Kim Clijsters is the truth,
right?
And she if she gets herself right and she is really ready, I fully expect her to compete for Grand Slams in 2021. Right. If she come out right, that's greatness right there. Like I said, I hold Kim in a very high esteem. Kim is my girl.
Right.
Like I said, I love my Williams sisters are my queens. Don't trip.
Right.
It's always going to be Venus and Serena up here, but right underneath it, there's Kim.
Right.
And I will always be giving Kim some love because to me, Kim got game. She's a sweetheart of a person. Like I said, I had the opportunity to again meet her, and it just like all the commentators say, she is just that genuine and just that nice. She's a great person. So yeah.
Right.
Kim.
So I think she's great now. And here's another thing: it isn't even just about Kim. I think the women's field right now is wide open. There is not just one or two people dominating the tour right now. Every time we go in, we've had almost a different winner almost every time. I mean, shoot, we had Iga Swiatek up here swinging her Grand Slam hardware. So Kim Clijsters was like, shoot, I know I can get up there and do that. So, and yes, Paul, I did see Sharapova on social media trying to show that she's doing some off-season training. Come back. I want her to come back. I want her to come back so that all those girls can show her what time it is. They can show her
Maria.
what time it is.
Maria, baby. Don't do it. Just don't put yourself through that, baby. Because you have to know that folk gear up to play you.
Yes.
You have to know. That's why Serena be putting that wax on you all the time. Serena ain't said shit. Ooh, now that is actually why I would want you to come back, because I would want Serena to smack that up just a couple more times. But I tell you what, bro. Maria Sharapova, you better be training for something else outside the tennis, baby. you don't want to mess with that heat.
They don't want that smoke. She don't want that smoke.
You don't want that smoke.
She don't want that smoke.
Baby. Yeah. Trust brothers on tennis, Maria. You do not want to do that to yourself.
Right. Now, we're getting another question here asking about the health status of Bianca Andreescu, and because if she's healthy, they think that her only real competition is Osaka. So I will say this. I definitely have been out here, putting myself out here on the Osaka thing for 2021. I believe that, Osaka, 2021 is going to be Osaka's year. I'm not exactly how she's going to do it, but it's going to be her year. But I'm going to tell you what, I have a really, really, really big question mark on Andreescu, because it's one thing for you to be out for a couple weeks or a month or a couple of months even, right? Old girl was out for a year.
Whole year.
As a matter of fact, by the time she actually plays, hopefully in Australia, it's going to be like a year and a quarter, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't care how much you practice. I don't care how many practice matches you play. I don't care how many exhibitions you play. You cannot be off the professional tour for over a year and just step back in like you left, right? So while we know that Bianca has the potential to be mean and at the top of the game or whatever, she's going to have to build herself back up there, because these other girls ain't just sitting here waiting to get their heads knocked. They're not just sitting around like, when's Bianca going to come knock my head again? No, they ready. They've been improving. They've been training. They've been playing. So they're going to have something for her. And Paul, I see you saying unless your name is Serena, but Serena don't even want to see you in a Grand Slam final. I tell you that. So Isaac, I don't know. I'm gonna let you take it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you though, bro. I'm leaning a bit with Paul. I know. I see Butter putting some things out there, and I hear what you're saying, but you still have to think about what Andreescu has done with the limited amount of play that she has had. She has won basically 2 tier 1s, whatever you want to call them, and a Grand Slam. And like I said, she didn't even play the whole damn year. That year.
Yeah, so but she did it once. It's in fluke. It technically is in fluke zone right now. It's technically in fluke zone.
I completely understand that. Not disagreeing with you guys, but what I'm saying is, if somebody can do that, I'm not necessarily gonna vote against them that they can't come back and do it again. Because again, that's how Serena has been. Because that's how her greatness has been. She's been off for a while. She come back and she smacked them heads. I don't know if Bianca is of that level, but this to me will tell it. And I'm not necessarily going to vote against her until I see it. Because, again, she's proven. She's got, when she got out there and she clowned, and then she was like, oh, I'm hurt. And then she came back, and then she won another tier 1. And then she went up in the U.S. Open. And like I said, got on Serena in that final. And like I said, she outplayed Serena in that final. Let's just be clear. Serena's a big girl. I ain't trying to take that from her. Right. But Bianca beat her. It wasn't Serena choking. She got beat on that day. I think she choked against Halep. But anyway. Well, no, but Halep actually played.
No, Halep beat
her. Anyway. Halep kind of smacked it. Yeah. Serena was like, damn, girl. You didn't do so. So, and I think that's what it is that, again, Serena we all know, Serena is the queen. She got the game. I mean, ain't no question. But in regards to Bianca, once again, I do feel like she has that potential. Am I gonna put my coins on it? Hell to the no. But I do feel like she has that. She could be one of those that comes back if she fit and she right. That's gonna be up there competing with Osaka. Because I'm like you. I do believe that Osaka is in a headspace right now that she's gonna show out in 2021. And I feel like it's going to be the Serenas, it's going to be potentially the Biancas, it's going to potentially be the Haleps that are going to be the ones that are going to be trying to catch her. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But I just feel like her headspace right now, I'm like I said, I'm biting off you big time because I'm liking where Osaka is right now because she's like, bitch, ain't nobody scared of you. I'm dealing with a bunch of shit that y'all just ain't even, y'all not even, no, I can't mess with y'all. There's a lot of big things going on in my head that I'm trying to do. And I'm just getting it done. So I feel like I'm very much in the camp that you are that 2021 will be Osaka's year, and I think that the ladies are going to have to fight her. And I'll put Barty in there as well because again I love Barty's game. I love me some Ash Barty, but again Barty also has not played in a very long time. Will she be? You know, how long is it going to take her to get her rhythm back going? But I think I really believe all of them will be trying to catch Naomi. And I'm going to leave it there and pass it back to you on your comments, brother.
The only additional thing I'm going to add to the Bianca piece is there's another element that's even beyond ability, and it is health. And Bianca has not shown that she's been able to stay healthy. You can't be at the top of the game if you can't play. So one of the things that when I say I need to see some things from her in 2021, it ain't just about what she can do on the court. I want to see how often she can make it to the court and actually compete. And that's something that these other girls like Osaka and Barty, they've shown they can stay healthy. And they can play these rigorous schedules in full season. So a lot of question marks on Andreescu, a lot of potential there. But we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, this will be something to definitely keep our eyes on for 2021. It is 5:45, Isaac, and what I'd like to do right now is let's give the listeners just a little bit of information because we need to kind of break and go to locker room at the top of the hour. And once again, at least for you people who have Apple products, please download the Locker Room app. That is where we can have the real conversations. Paul, I expect to see you out there tonight so we can talk about that stuff. We can actually bring you up. You can talk, directly with us. We can have group conversation. It's good. So get the Locker Room app. It will be available for Android products, I think, in about 3 or 4 months. So apologize if that's not ready for you guys yet, but Apple people, come on, let's go get the party started. The other thing is, obviously, this was the last tournament of the year. So all live tennis is completed for 2020. So you know what that means for us?
Hey! Oh!
Yeah, we get some much needed time off ourselves from recording the weekly shows. But what we have been doing is we have been recording interviews with various people who you will probably be very interested in. So each week we will continue to deliver new content to you via our podcast, which you can always access the latest episode by going to our bio on Instagram and clicking the link there. You can always go directly to our website where we have some 80-something episodes there for you to listen to. So even if you're not listening to the latest episode, you want to go back and reminisce about a previous tournament or a previous interview that we had. I know I've listened to a couple of interviews a couple of times. You can go do that there. And then obviously if you want to go directly to your normal podcast servicer, we are on all of those various platforms. So I'm not sure how many IG Lives we will have between now and the end of the year, but we will be occasionally on Locker Room. So once again, if you can get on Locker Room, you'll have an opportunity to engage with us more in December. Isaac, what else do we have going on?
Well, I mean, nothing much. Brothers on Tennis. Don't forget www.brothersontennis.com, BRUTHAS on tennis.com. That's our website. Go check us out again. That's where you can get the podcast. This is also where you can get merch. And as you can see, Brother Bryce got on what? The black cap.
It's actually the blue.
Is that the Navy?
That's the Navy.
Oh, see, I can't quite even tell. That's the Navy. So we've got Navy, we've got black, and we've got steel gray that we've added to the colors. You can get them in pretty much any of the products. So it's the hats, the shirts, the hoodies, and all of that. We are going to be offering the colors right after Thanksgiving. So we're going to put those colors out there. We are also going to be doing some, another round of discounts on the merch. So if your coins are right, I realize the pandemic has been a little cray for folk, but if you got some coins and you feel like spending a little something, come support your boys, man.
Right.
Support your boys. Get you a friend, Brothers on Tennis hat. Because I'm telling you what, folks, things are popping. Things are moving forward in a very, very nice way. Like I said, with the interviews that we have, we are going to continue to, just kind of move forward and leverage and grow. And we want you as the listening audience to grow with us. So, come on aboard, get your merch and get right. Come on now.
Exactly.
Come on now.
So, yes, and we will, the very first week of January, we will be recording our normal year in review show. So we will talk about the year, all the good stuff that happened. It still blows my mind that we got in as much tennis in 2020 that we did, because there was a time we didn't think we were going to get a single match. So look for that. The other thing we're going to do in that is we're going to give out our annual award. So, that's always a little bit of a blast to make that happen. Karima, I see your question, which is what happened with the Prakash interview. Did I miss that episode? You have not missed it. As I stated, we have been doing interviews and just kind of keeping them in the queue so that we can release them every week going forward through the end of the year. So we have Prakash. He's in the hopper. Matter of fact, the Prakash interview was so good, we had to break that into 2 different episodes. So we'll have episode 1 week, and then the following week we'll have part 2 to it. So you have not missed Prakash, and you do not want to miss the Prakash interview. Yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah, we look forward to that. So once again, thank you guys for following us all year. We're looking forward to a great 2021, and let's keep our fingers crossed that folks start getting vaccinated and we can start getting back to tournaments, and we can start doing IG Lives from being on location instead of being up in our home offices and that kind of stuff, me having to kick my dog out while I'm recording so y'all don't hear him laying on the ground snoring like a grown man in my house. But anyway, so with that, everyone take care, be safe, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. We know we will. And we will talk to you later. This has been your boy Bryce. And that's our guy Isaac. Did you just get frozen?
Yo, sorry about that. Yes. Yeah, because somebody called me, of course. My phone froze up. I'm like, how do I get the phone to stop ringing?
Okay.
Never had that happen before.
Okay, we're going to try the closing one more time. We're not going to end 2020 like that. We're not going to end. No, we're going to end with a broke one. So with that, this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everybody be good. Later. Sorry.
So good.
Woo.